All right. All right, folks. My lord. Um, we are live. We had a little bit of a hiccup of our live stream that we were going on, and we had to start a new one from a laptop. When you live out in the country like I do, that's what happens sometimes. You have to get creative with the internet. So to recap what we were talking about, we're talking about the current state as people are coming back in. We're talking about the current state of the record market. We kind of talked about the highs and lows, how obviously the past 5 years there's been a huge explosion, and then now there's kind of a little bit of a downtick, but we're still kind of like that. The pressing plants, I think the last thing I talked about was the pressing plants couldn't keep up in 2020. There was such a huge demand that they couldn't keep up. And then now, as opposed to like a 10-month wait for a record you wanted to get pressed, now it's more the jackets that are the problem. Like, we're having records pressed. You can get one done in a month. Maybe less if you know the guy that's running the plant. So anyways, so that brings us back to the current state of the vinyl market now. Um, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I love it and I hate it at the same time. First thing I'll kind of talking about. So somebody says thoughts on the price gouging of fraction. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about. That's the thing that's kind of fresh on my mind. I just looked at Discogs for our Fraction Moonblood. We did an exclusive of Fraction Moonblood. It's beautiful, solid red vinyl. Really proud of it. We worked on this thing for about right around a year. It was the most expensive vinyl project I've ever done. I've done a lot of exclusives. This was definitely by far the most expensive one. We tried to keep the costs as low as possible, but because the artwork and everything was so intricate, I paid extra to get it on red vinyl because that's the color I wanted. It ended up being a very, very, very expensive record to make, which I had to pay for all those copies up front. It was extremely expensive. So anyways, that's the most I think I've ever spent at one time. Not really, but it's close. So anyways, we had to charge $50 for the record just because, we got to make something, but I honestly felt bad charging that much for it because a record shouldn't be $50. But this one was really intricate and it was worth it, and it cost us a lot of money to make. It was important to us that it got to be done the right way, and that the quality was really good on it. That was the most important thing to me, and Lance and Daniel. That was the most important thing, that it was good quality. And so in order to do that, it was a very expensive record to make. So now, obviously, we did limited edition to 1,000. The reissues in the past were going for $150. It was that Mexican summer reissue that was going for like $150. And we all felt like, we would love to have this available to everybody at a reasonable price. $50 is on the high end of what's reasonable, but for this product, it was worth it. It's such a high quality reissue. And to get it right, that's what it costs. So it's not just a regular in a sleeve, disc in a sleeve, no big deal. It's very intricate. It was hard to make, all that stuff. So that's why it cost us $50. I had to explain that to a lot of people. Like, that's the most any of our exclusives have ever been. Usually they're around 30. So we had to charge 50 just because that's what it cost. So now I had some people buy copies, and I limited it to one per customer. There were a few people that I let get to because I felt like maybe they were in Canada or another country and they were doubling up to get one for a buddy or whatever. I tried to be understanding because in the past, when I've been really strict about that, people have been like, hey, I wanted to get two so I could save on shipping. My brother wants one or whatever. So I'm usually pretty understanding as long as you don't order like 5 or something. I really don't want anybody flipping them. Anyways, so check Discogs, and I think the highest is, people got them listed anywhere between 65 and 350. So a lot of them being over 100. So our goal was to get a reasonably priced Fraction Moonblood out for a reasonable price, because they're $100 or more, and that's too much. We want to get them to where it's reasonable. And so now that we've sold them, they're on Discogs for a ridiculous price again. So that's kind of what I hate about, there's always going to be the record flippers, and there's always differing opinions about it. I posted a story on Instagram just an hour ago or whatever, and just said, hey, this is ruining the fun for everybody. And I did have one of the sellers reach out to me and just be like, and just kind of give me a hard time about it. And he said he was going to watch this and chime in, and that's fine. We can have a discussion. That's totally fine. But it's and a lot of most people agree with me, but some people were like, hey, they bought it and they paid the full price for it. Why do you care what they do with it? And I get that, and I usually don't. But this is the kind of thing to where we sold out in 24 hours. A bunch of people messaged me since then every single day. Do you have any more copies? I'm dying for one. I was on vacation that week. I had to work that day and I missed it or whatever. And it makes me sad that they're going to have to go on Discogs and pay $350 for a record when the whole goal in the first place was to make it accessible to everybody. So I have no problem with people making money on records, but there has been this inflated market of people that are opportunists, and they will camp out on a website and order a bunch of copies of something and then turn around and flip it. And so then the people that really just want it to listen to it, they can't buy it because these people need to gouge the people. It is price gouging. I believe it's price gouging. I believe that it's less of a business issue or a market issue and more of an ethics issue. That's my opinion. If it was something else, I wouldn't care, but we love this stuff so much. It's so important to me that kind of chaps me a little bit. You know what I mean? But hey, to each their own. I should not be complaining. We sold 1,000 copies. Who cares? So that's that's my opinion on the price gouging of Fractured Moonblood. I knew it was going to happen. I'm not upset about it, but it is a little bit upsetting because our whole goal, 1,000 people got one from me. So I think they've sold out everywhere. I'm not sure, but I would say, I believe more copies are coming. I don't know if they're coming from me, but if you haven't bought one yet, don't go pay stupid prices for it. Just wait, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be more eventually. So To Blandia says, I respectfully disagree that it's an ethics issue. My seller notes are very clear about my strategy. So this is the gentleman that that maybe I missed it, but he's the one that listed it for $350. So I didn't see anything in the seller notes. Matter of fact, let's just look, because maybe I missed something. Let's see, Fraction Moon Blood. Okay, here we go. So, sorry about that. This is the listing. 8 copies. Maybe I missed it because on my phone sometimes. So this says sealed and perfect, Noble Records exclusive on opaque red vinyl, includes the hype sticker. So I don't know what you mean by that with your seller notes. I know that you said it was a Noble Records exclusive and all that, but I don't think that's really the issue. And I'm not calling you out. I wasn't going to say your name or anything like that. For me, it is one of those things that it is unfortunate. So Kevin Stoll says that Riding Easy still has some for pre-order, all that stuff. I'm not here to call anybody out. I'm not here to do anything like that. I'm just talking about the current state. And, he chimes in that says, let's see, my seller notes are very clear about my strategy. I don't know what you mean by that, but, see, I'm sorry, To Blandia, what are you talking about? Because you say all your seller notes says sealed and perfect Noble Records exclusives in opaque red vinyl includes hype sticker. I could be missing something. I don't understand what you're saying, that seller notes say, but I'm not here to talk about yours. You're not the only one that did it. And I'm not trying to call anybody out or anything, but you have somebody else has one for 285, when somebody else has one for 250, somebody else has one for 150, somebody else has one for 130. So a bunch of people did it. And I'm not, like I said, are you talking about the shipping notes? Okay, well, I didn't see that because I'm not going to go through all the shipping notes. But let's see. He says, I don't know. Somebody tell me what the shipping note says. I don't. Oh, here we go. It says, I understand that the majority of my listings are way over Discogs median or even higher. In those cases, these items that I don't really want to sell, but I will consider it at listing price. This is intentional. Okay, I get it. I can always lower the price later if I decide to sell lower. Okay, so I think that some people also do this where they put everything they have on Discogs. So they put it at the I don't want to sell it price. And then if it sells, well, like, there's the record. What is this? This is just a random one right here. The 5-day week straw people. Somebody offers me $2,000 for this record. Yeah, I'll take it, but it's the I don't want to sell it price. Okay, I get that. Well noted. I get you. And again, I was not going to call you out or anything like that. It's under his terms or conditions. It's not under. So that's totally, totally fine. I get that completely. And again, yeah, no, I get it. I get it. That's totally fine. I get that. I didn't know that. I do know that I sold you 2 copies. And that's why, I don't know why everybody does what they do. And I don't, yeah, Tree, you send me $3,000, I'll send you my tool. Okay. So understand that some people might have it on Discogs for a crazy price just because, hey, that's I don't want to sell the price. I don't do that, but maybe other people do. That's totally fine. Again, I am not coming at this specific seller or anything like that. I would never do that. I'm just saying, like I said, I do know that people do that, but I also do know, like, I know some sellers that they do, like, they'll get a record that they know everybody wants. This is a specific person that I know. And they'll get some really rare record that's probably worth $500, and they know everybody wants it, and they'll camp it out on Discogs for $1,000 and then just leave it until somebody's desperate enough to pay that. And then they'll get it, which that's a strategy, whatever, that's fine. But I don't want to seem like this old guy that's like, back in my day, that's how it should have been. That's how it needs to be now. I understand that the market changes. I understand all that stuff. So but it's with any collectible. I think that what hurts me about it, and again, this is not wrong. I'm not saying it's unethical, but what hurts me about it is that, and this is not, I'm not talking about fraction. I'm just talking about every record and how the record market is exploding and people are kind of overcharging for things. The aftermarket stuff is insane. I hate that. It's turning it from something that is just like, hey, I can remember being in school and my friend wanting a copy of Led Zeppelin 3, and I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna look for one for you. And then I'd find one and we trade. So we both had new music to listen to. And it was just sheerly for the love of the music. And now it just seems like it seems kind of adulterated. It just seems it's difficult because I know that there's a lot of people that would love to have a lot of records, but they can't afford it. And they should be able to afford it. You know what I mean? So it's a double-edged sword because I make a living selling records. So I can't complain. You know what I mean? I'm glad people are buying records. So it's just a conversation at this point. I know that, I'm excited that people are buying records. I'm excited that they mean something because forever they didn't. So I gotta say, you got to take the good with the bad. So it's good. Let's read some comments. Fella says, it's a free market. If you think something's overpriced, don't pay it. Sellers can ask whatever they want. Now, I don't think, I get that. And certain records are worth more than in my opinion, worth more than they should be. And I'm not going to pay, certain records I would maybe pay $20 for, but I'm not going to pay 100 for, even though they're worth 100. You know what I mean? So it is a free market. I do get that. You go for things like if it's worth the money or not. I just think that there are people that do charge things. They charge more than it's worth, and they know they're doing it. You know what I mean? And again, it's the gentleman that posted the fraction. I'm not going to call his name out, but he opened my eyes. Hey, maybe I'm seeing it wrong. Maybe some people are just doing it at the don't on a sell price, but I would if I had to, if you twist my arm and offer me 5 times more than it's worth, then I'll sell it. Hey, if you want to walk in my room and pick out a record and pay me 5 times what it's worth, I sell you everything I got. You know what I mean? So, anyways, so yeah, I do get that. And I do get that as free market, but I also get, this is opening up another bag of worms, but Analog Productions, one of my absolute favorite labels, they could release a record of farts and I would buy it. There's just for principle alone. If it was good audiophile, crisp sounding farts, I'd be all over it. But people complain about the UHQR being, I think if it's a 33, it's like 125. If it's a 45, it's 150. People complain about that, but I know I've talked to Chad and I've been to Salina and I've gone through the factory and I see what goes into it. And I understand how much they're having to pay for licensing, materials. They do everything the right way. So you're paying that money and it's worth it. There's, even if you don't think it's worth it, it's undebatable if you knew all the steps that went into it, that it's worth that money. It's just maybe not worth it to you. If you're not an audiophile, if you don't have the equipment to appreciate it, then maybe it's not worth it to you. But so that I get it on that level, but it does bother me when people intentionally charge too much. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it kind of rubs me the wrong way. You know what I mean? But people don't have to do everything the way I do it. I'm not saying that. I just wouldn't do it that way. Okay. Yeah, no, I understand now. I just didn't see that in the listing itself, so that's why. All right. Price gouging applies to items that are needs and not wants. You can't price gouge a discretionary item. Interesting. Good lesson there. So if it was gasoline or milk, it would be price gouging, but if it's a record, it's not. I get you. I agree. Let's see. I'm just reading comments here. It just floods the market with people who don't want to sell and won't sell. It's just pointless and a waste of time. Well, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. I mean, by all means, if you want to list something for $1,000 and let it sit. But sometimes people will come in the shop and they'll be like, "Hey, I got this record. Somebody's asking $1,000 for it on Discogs, so it's worth $1,000." And I have to explain to them like, "No, it's not. It's not sold for that." So, Jeff Paris says, "Where have you been on Whatnot?" So Whatnot, I usually kind of take it easy during the summertime. I think I'm doing it on July 23rd. I'm definitely doing one. But I usually do it like every other week or maybe once a month during the summertime because I have so many things going on. I'm spending a lot of time with my kids. This summer has been insane for me for the label and for the exclusives and stuff like that. I've just got so much going on that it's hard to make time for Whatnot and really make it good. And then also people are on vacation. The streams, there's not that many people in them. They don't really go that well. And so for Whatnot on the summertime, I kind of take a little bit of a break. I'll try to anyways. Hey, Dave, local bandography. I didn't see your nucleus inquiry. I'm sorry, man. I didn't see it. I haven't been reading all the comments. There's a lot coming in I'm missing. But hey, you know where we stand on our nucleus inquiries. Yeah, so Daniel says met Chad as well. He's a solid individual. Yeah, no, he's tops, and he really does want you to enjoy the music the best you can. Yeah, so Tree McGee says after I posted about Zamrock Records, took him down a rabbit hole It's difficult to maintain the pricing, and sketchy sellers make it hard to dip into the water. Yeah, I mean, I have every single Zamrock record but one, and I'm currently negotiating a deal on it. The one I'm missing. And if I had to start over, would I buy them all again? Probably not. It's tough, man. It's tough to find good copies. It is a hassle. Let's see. What's up with the Vinyl Me Please blue vinyl version of Fraction Moonblood? What's up with the delay after all the other ones ship? You'd have to ask them. I don't know. I really have no idea. I don't know. I'm not able to say because I really have no idea. Let's see. Somebody's talking about the Hi-Fi Sabbath on eBay. I totally missed that one. That one totally went under my radar. I didn't even have one. I should have bought one, but I didn't even know about it. It says, do you watch Rachel's Ghost Show? Man, I really don't. I don't really watch a whole lot of YouTube. I should, but I have so like my records are constantly always the forefront of my mind, apart from like family and stuff like that. But like I get bombarded with so much record stuff that when I get on YouTube, I don't really watch a lot of record shows. I watch a lot of like documentaries, like not music related, even like documentaries and stand-up comedy and stuff like that. I have to flush a little bit of record stuff out. I can't do it all the time. Let's see. What's the one album you tried to get as an exclusive and weren't able to get? I don't know. I'm not giving up on any of them. I don't know. Fraction was the big one. I really am excited I got Fraction, but any of them that I've not been able to get, I got my whole life ahead of me. Too Blandy, it says, I appreciate the discussion, Dylan. Nice to be able to discuss things respectfully. I've always admired your channel and always learn a lot. Yeah, man. I mean, I am a reasonable person. I like to think, and I get why you listed it, what you did. It's a good eye opener that, hey, maybe people aren't, you assume you see something, you're like, this wiseacre's trying to get 7 times the value, but maybe it's not that way. Maybe they're just like, hey, I would sell it for that if you want to give me that. Let's see. Is there a record you're still hunting down? Man, there's a lot. And I make a rule. I don't tell anybody what I'm looking for, because if you do, I learned it the hard way with Farm. Told everybody that was my most wanted record, and I had a lot of people they tried to screw me over. Any copy that came up, somebody would buy it, and then they would send me an email that says, hey, I bought the copy of Farm. They tried to charge me way too much money for it, and they thought like that I would be desperate enough to pay it. But see, the thing about me is I cannot pay more hold on. I cannot pay more for a record than I think it's worth. I can't do it. That's just in my brain. I just can't do it. All right, let's see where we're at here. Am I a Shane Gillis fan? I don't know. I mean, I like everybody. If somebody has something funny to say, I talk about it. I'm not a huge critic, you know what I mean? Just depends on if they got something funny to say. I'm into it. I like things that are just lighthearted, you know what I mean? Nothing political, none of that. Just like to, But even then, I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I don't really watch a lot of anything. I really try to be present with my family and kids and everything. So, anyways, will we see a Noble Zamrock release, or is it just too difficult? I am working on one, and I have been working on one for 2 years, and the discs are made, but the covers there's something going on, and it has been a huge delay. And so there's one, and it's a killer one, and it's one of my favorite ones. Lord knows when it'll come out. All right. Let's see. What is your favorite era of punk? I'm not a huge punk expert. I like what I like, but I really like the kind of late 70s Australian punk is killer. And then like, late 70s, early 80s US punk is really good. But again, I'm not a connoisseur of that. I just like what I like. Let's see. What was the first album I ever bought? Well, my mom bought me a copy of Don McLean American Pie 45. And then the first one I bought was either Styx Cornerstone or REO Speedwagon High Infidelity. I might have got them on the same day, but I definitely got them within the same week. So, um, let's see. Yeah, early 80s North Carolina punk scene was amazing. Anti scene, yeah. Yep. Let's see. Let's scroll back up to see if I missed any. Um, ba-ba-ba. What role do limited edition and exclusives play in driving sales? So let me tell you my motivation in doing exclusives. I love hard rock. You know me, I like hard rock and albums. I love hard rock. And a lot of the records that I like are, you know, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Rush, all the stuff you like, the stuff that's out there and available. But I got so burned out on that stuff. And I started discovering things like Toad and, I'm looking on the wall, July and Truth and Janie, Fraction, all that stuff. And when I first started collecting that stuff, there weren't many reissues or maybe any reissues. And so I was like, man, I just want the record. I don't even care if it's an original. And so even the reissues that were out there were super limited and hard to get and blah, 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 blah. So I'm glad a lot of that stuff's getting reissued. So with my exclusives, I really wanted a reissue farm. I really bad wanted a reissue farm. But when all that happened, I didn't know anything about licensing or anything like that. So I was not equipped to even try. You know what I mean? And then I heard same with Randy Holden Population 2. I met Randy Holden. I was very minorly involved in just introducing him to Riding Easy. That's the only role I played. And I would have loved, like when he told me, hey, I really would love to reissue it. I just don't know an honest record, label or anything like that. And I thought, man, what if I reissued it? But at the time, I didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. I didn't have, I was working a job that was not paying nothing. I was making a shockingly low amount of money. It's just I couldn't even. It was before I had the shop. Couldn't have ever afforded to do it. So I was like, I'll pass it off to. I know Daniel will do a really great job with it, and he did. And so, but we talked about it, and I was like, I still want something out of this. I still want to do something, and so we had the idea of doing the exclusive, and that's how kind of it all started. Kind of similar situation with Farm. I never tried to contact the band, nothing like that. But I saw that Garrison was working on it, and I contacted them. I was like, hey, I did it with Randy Holden. Would you want to do something with me? And I've had such a good relationship with them, such a good relationship with Daniel, such a good relationship with Adam from Ancient Grease Records. So I team up with other labels, and I try to just, my whole entire thing is to recommend y'all good music and music that I think that you will enjoy. I got a super fan. What favorite Bob Dylan record that you own? It is my Bob Dylan debut promo copy I got from the Chris Whitson collection. It's near mint. It's beautiful. That's 100% my favorite one. And I just got an original first press Great White Wonder bootleg, which is pretty cool. So anyway, so with the exclusives, I'm not trying to do something that's like mega collect. I mean, mega collectible, worth hundreds of dollars someday, all this stuff. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just want there to be a special version of it that you get from me. And every time you open it up and you see that yellow vinyl or whatever, you're like, oh, Dylan loves me. That's why he recommended me this record. It's just a piece of me that I'm giving to you. You know what I mean? I wanted it to be special. It comes from my store. when we first started doing it, we only did like 300 copies of everything, so they'd sell out immediately. I think right now the sweet spot's 500 copies because I feel like everybody kind of gets a chance to get them. If I do 300, they sell out too fast. So if I do 500, they're around for a few days and everybody ends up getting a copy and everybody's happy. With the where did my phone go? With the what was I talking about? Anyways, I don't know. With 500, everybody gets it. When I did fraction, I knew that was going to be a huge one, so I did 1,000. I kind of got to gauge it, whichever way. So, anyways, I've got a lot of really good exclusives on our website. If you want to go check it out, there's still a Parchment Farm, which is almost sold out. We still have Short Cross, which is great, from Virginia. Incredible splatter vinyl. We still have some of these on the website as well. Only a handful. I think there's like 2 copies of Brotherhood of Peace left. Let's see. Let's read some. Recently got into collecting vinyl around the pandemic. The first thing I noticed about the hobby was that it can be pretty expensive. Has it always been like that? So we talked about that a little bit at the beginning of this video. It has not always been like that. Used to, you could go into a record store and find a good deal. Like, I know that my original first press, Kinda Blue, really clean, 6i, absolute first press of Kinda Blue, which is, depends on who you ask, what is it, $200, $250 record, something like that. I got it at a record store for $15, and that was like 2018. You know what I mean? So it's not always been like that. Jazz has not always been this expensive. It also, new records haven't always been this high, but that's just because of inflation and stuff. Everything's higher. You know what I mean? Do you mainly sell records through your shop, or do you have other methods? We do Whatnot usually on Tuesday nights. We do it sparingly in the summertime, but during like the regular school year or whatever, we do it every Tuesday night. And then we sell on our website, but we just sell our exclusive releases that we've been talking about. Which album from your collection are you grabbing first if there's a fire? LOL. Well, I would say Fraction, but there's one record, and it's actually not here right now. I lent it to a buddy, but what it is, well, I'll tell you what it is. Don't tell anybody. There's a band called Sound Company, and they really killer band out of Missouri. They put out 145. It's killer. And I have an acetate of an unreleased album that never got put out. There's only 2 copies of the acetate in the world, and I have one of them. That is over. It's being transferred professionally somewhere for an undisclosed purpose. So it's not here now, but if it was here, that'd be probably the one I'd grab, because it's so, you could get another Fraction. You couldn't get another one of these. So that'd probably be that one. There's a couple on my wall. I wouldn't just grab one. I'd just go on my whole wall and just grab them all and run. But anyways, actually, I probably wouldn't even think about my records if my house was on fire. But anyways, let's see. Do you feel that 90s original pressings are worth the money if the quality is not up to snuff? Yeah, it depends on why you collect. Some people don't collect for the sound quality. Some people collect for the rarity or the artifact of it or whatever. It depends on what you like about records. Any plans for a singer-songwriter reissue? Yeah. Yeah. I don't have anything licensed right now, but I do have a couple ideas, and I'm open to it. And if I were to ever record an album, it would either be like hard rock or singer-songwriter. If I ever got my crap together and recorded an album, it'd be one or the other. As a small business, how do you afford health insurance? You just do it. You just gotta, you just gotta pay for it. There's no help from anybody. You just gotta pay it. You know what I mean? Tough out there for the small businesses. Let's see. What did I pay for Great White Wonder? I bought a collection. A guy brought a crate full of bootlegs in. It was kind of thing. He knew exactly what everything was. It's not like I think I got it for like, can't remember, $50, something like that. That was my reasoning in my brain. I think that's what it was. I can't remember. Do you think that Kind of Blue will ever be reissued? No, it's one and done. Saw your posting of the oh gosh. Oh man. Saw your brother a posting of the Bush Brothers on your side channel. What is your favorite release of Florida rock music? That'd be Boulder Dam is my favorite release of in Florida, I believe. There's let's see. Curious if you have an insurance policy for your personal collection. Of course, I do. Value of Australian Dirty Deeds. I don't know. Look it up on Discogs. Short Cross rips. Absolutely does. It's on our website. You got to buy one. Best Zeppelin bootleg. If you could just have one, that would be listen to this, Eddie. Let's see. Hold on, my wife is killing me. Let's see. Is there a rare funk or soul kind of record that you would do an exclusive on? I know you like the Brief Encounter, but what's another one that you would reissue? I can't tell you. I gotta play the cards close to my chest because if I tell you, then somebody will hear it and go do it. But yeah, sure there is. There's a bunch. Um, hold on a second. Let's see. Any Georgia psych heavy rabbit holes that you could send me down? I'm sure there are. Let me think about it for a minute. What's the craziest customer experience at your record shop? That's a long story. I don't care to tell. The true answer, man, I can't tell that story. It's too bad. It's traumatizing actually. I would love to tell a story, and I've told a few people that story, but that's a long story. That is it's a tough one. Okay. La da 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 da. I'm reading through. You prefer the UK Vertigo or the US WB Sabbath albums? You know, I have not done a shootout in a long time. I watched Mike from the Ingers video on that, and he had a great explanation. His ear is way better than mine. So I think he says that sound quality, the original US Warner Brothers Sabbaths sound better than the UK Vertigos. And I have like a near mint, really clean white label promo. So I'm happy with that. Brandon says, what are the chances that you would be able to repress Formula One hold on your label? I would, but it's a tax scam label thing, and those are really hard to license just because legally it's a really long shot. It's hard to explain, but you really don't know who owns what. You know what I mean? So like the band that wrote the stuff, they never made any money, and you can't license it through anybody who was affiliated with the original label because if you're not sure if they own it or the band owns it. Really, really, really tricky stuff there. It's not impossible, but it's above my pay grade, and I'm not going to touch it with the 10-foot pole right now. Let's see. Jeff Paris says, tell the story. If you are ever in the shop, come ask me, I'll tell you. Let's see. Why is there a gap between your Lee Morgan record and Saxophone Colossus on the wall? I was listening to Soul Station yesterday and I pulled it down. Let's see here. Let's see. What's the best live concert that I've ever seen? Man, I've seen the Allman Brothers a lot. Those concerts are really good, really memorable to me. I would probably say the Allman Brothers, the first time I saw them, was probably the best. But Aerosmith was really good back in the day when I saw them. They were really good. Grunge or 70s hard rock? 70s hard rock, hands down. Your furthest away in-store customer came from where? Well, I get a lot of people that are passing through from other places. So I don't know how many people. I know that a couple guys a few years ago drove down from New York just to hit the shop with no other purpose. That seems like pretty far. It's like a 10-hour drive. But I don't know. I've had people come from Scotland and Germany and all that stuff, and they're in the States for another reason, but they're stopping in. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say. I really don't know. Any other record stores near Noble? Yeah, well, not super near, but there's there's a few, like, so we're in Matthews, um, and there's not a lot there, you know what I mean? But 20 minutes down the road is a whole lot, you know what I mean? In Charlotte, there's Lunchbox Records, Repo Records, just a bunch, just like 5 probably. Let's see. Are the only are the early presses of 13-foot elevators worth the high price? If you want it, it is. Um, ba, ba, ba. Will you ever sell your record collection and start new? If someone came with me with a big enough check, I definitely would. Um, but I have no intention of doing that. I, over the years, I've sold my collection a few times. It's hurt me every time I've done it. I really hated doing it. So it would take a lot for me to do it. It had to be something crazy because if I wanted to sell it, I just would. I just put it in the shop and sell it, or I put it on Whatnot and sell it if I wanted to. So it'd have to be a special situation where somebody was just strolling in and offered me a ridiculous amount of money. I'd do it. I'd start over. Screw it. I don't care. But that the odds of anything like that happening would be so astronomically rare. Oh gosh. Random Super said I drove from Virginia especially to visit your shop. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I hope it was worth it for you. Ever find cash in record sleeves before? Never. I've seen people do it. I've seen people find like $2,500. I saw one guy finding one, and I'm like, never me, man. Never find anything like that. I found a penny in one once, and a Buffalo nickel in one once, I think, but no cash. Which band's catalog would you reissue on UHQR if you had the opportunity? I would do. This guy says that he would do Zeppelin and Floyd personally. Oh yeah, Zeppelin, Floyd, Black Sabbath. If I had, let's see what else. I don't freaking know. Nirvana would be kind of cool. I don't know. It depends. I probably would do some obscure stuff. I do a Fraction Moonblood UHQR. If I had, the ability, I'd do some crazy stuff. Do I know of any record stores in Minneapolis? No, I don't know if I've ever been there. What's up, concert buddy? I think we're doing the 5th anniversary. It'd be the 5th. I think it's going to be the first Saturday in October, and it's going to be huge. We got a lot of good stuff planned. It's the 5th anniversary, so we're already planning it. How many records are in your collection now? I would say somewhere around 6 to 7,000, something like that. I really need to pare it down because I there's a lot of this stuff I'll never listen to. I need to anything that looks interesting, I just bring it home. And there's a lot in here that I need to get rid of. So, anyways, favorite Christmas album. I like that Phil Spector one. I have this like reggae one that's pretty good. I don't know. Artists you despise that everyone loves. That'd be, I don't despise anybody. Anything I despise is probably because I haven't spent a lot of time listening to, and I don't see the charm in it, but it's not that I despise it, anything like that. I really despise Gigi Allen. I don't get why anybody likes him. Oh Lord, I'm trying to read all this. Stuck on an island, you can only have one record to listen to. I don't like that question. That's never going to happen because if you were on an island, you wouldn't be able to listen to even one. Man, Jeff says drove from Charleston to visit your shop, picked up a copy of Bubble Puppy. Very good, thank you. Does Noble Records sell anything less than VG condition? Bought a lot of good records from record stores. I do sell things that are, and some stores don't. Like I said, Mike from the In Groove, I think he only puts stuff out that's like super clean. I do put things out that are VG because there's a lot of kids that come in the shop and they don't care. They don't care if it's bad. And I always write on the sleeve, if it's in bad shape. I'll put rough shape, VG minus, G, whatever. I'll put a grade. But a lot of times, people that are just getting into it, they don't know what VG means. So if it's in rough shape, I will put rough shape. But like if it's a Beatles record, it's like a Beatles Abbey Road that's VG, I'll put $5 on it and throw it out. You know, I don't. It's because some kids that are just getting into it, or not necessarily kids, but just people that are new to the hobby, they don't care if it crackles. They don't mind, and they would love to just get a cheap copy. So I do carry them for that purpose, but I always make it known that it's in bad shape, and the price always reflects it. So, um, best record of 2024. Man, I don't know. You caught me off guard there. I'm trying to think of something that came out this year that was really good. I don't know. Give me some suggestions. Do people actually like GG Allen? I don't know. Some people do, I guess. What are some of your favorite YouTube channels for records? So, oh, my back's hurting. Again, I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but I've mentioned Mike from the Ingrid about 10 times in this video. So I gotta say, Mike from the Ingrid, he's got a great channel for what he does. He's the best, man. He's really good, informative videos. Some channels you watch and you're like, are they selling me something? Like, are they doing this video because they want me to buy something? And you can't really tell. I really feel like Mike does things just because he wants people to be very well informed. I think Mike's got a great channel, really neat, super nice guy. Every interaction I've ever had was been great. I like the analog production channel. I really do. I like chatting. Anytime he's on a video, I'll watch it. Bob Bradley, I really like his videos. I watch those anytime I can. I like some of the OG ones. I would say maybe my favorite channel is Matt Sand's channel. He doesn't post enough videos, but he's been my favorite from the beginning. I still love his channel. I love Mazzy. Yeah, I love him. It was nice to meet him when we went to Austin. Super, super nice fella. I hate doing this because I know I'm gonna leave somebody out. Too Many Records, my friend Matt from Portland, really good friend of mine. He has a great channel. He's got some good thought-provoking videos about the vinyl market and things like that. Vinyl Reckoning, come on. Local North Carolina channel. Super nice people. Gotten to be friends with them lately. Saw them at the shop the other day. Really nice folks. I don't know. I don't watch a lot. Like I said, I don't watch a lot, but I like any record store that does things. Anybody that has a good, Oh yeah, the Jazz Basement. Yeah, man. I like the Jazz Basement. Trying to think of some other ones. I love Seeking a Thread. His stuff with the Acid Archives is really, really good. Anyways, so yeah. So I think this has been really good. Oh, Sam from he's on Matt Sand's channel. Yeah, you guys need to do some more videos. Where you guys been? All right, I am going to roll out. It's been an hour. We've had some technical difficulties. We've had some fun. We've answered some questions. Any final burning questions before we exit the show? Is anybody just chomping at the bit to ask a question about something? Let's see. I don't disclose my want list. I'm sorry. I just can't do that. I got to keep it quiet until I get one, and then I won't shut up about it. Aside from Moonblood, what's your next most favorite Christian album? There's a band called Totty, Totty. You'll be hearing more about that, but that's my probably it's up there. What are your thoughts about buying records before having a record player? Hey, I think you should have a record player, but as long as you're buying them, I don't care. Sam. Did I get into NoFX? I never did. I never gave it a chance when I didn't like them. Let's see. Do I own any prints? I don't think so, actually. I should get a copy of Purple Rain at least, but I don't think I do. My favorite Blue Note is probably Soul Station. Will you ever shave the beard? If somebody made me give me a good enough reason, I would. Um, did Toad only put out 2 records? They put out 3, and there's some unreleased stuff, I think, as well. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for saying that. Let's see. More best under 20. I'll see if I can come up with a video. How many Robert Ludwig Led Zeppelin 2s are there? I don't know. Is that a Lee Morgan OG? Yeah, everything on my wall is OG. Another channel feels like it's the 78 RPM channel. Okay. Yeah, that is a great gospel group. There is a lot of really good Christian albums. I need to do a video on that. There's a lot of really good ones, but there's a record called Toddy, Totty. Fantastic stuff. You really got to check that out. Top 3 favorite artists at the moment. Hard to say. Coolest album cover ever. Man, that Truth and Janie album cover is really, really killer. That's one of my favorites. Opinions on the R. Hooley label. Great label. I love all that old school. Anything that has our Hooley label, I give it a second look. All old school blues stuff is great. Favorite hip hop artists. Oh man, I love Wu-Tang, Nas, Select, Jay-Z, older stuff. Tupac, Notorious P.G., all the stuff that every standard white girl knows. Where would Noble Records open a second shop if you could? If it couldn't be in your region? I don't know. That's a good question. I hadn't really thought about that. Texas? I don't know. Texas is really cool. If I say funk southern rock, what comes to mind? The J Teal band comes to mind. If starting a new collection, what's the first album you buy? The one you want the most. Best metal album for a hangover. I've never had a hangover. I wouldn't know. Are you familiar with Arthur Moses' North Carolina Ballads album? I don't think so. I'll have to look into it. Okay. Great time. Biggest surprise / mistake when opening your shop, payroll, etc. Man, I had a lot of mistakes, but I tell you, and I'll close it with this. That's the last question. Justin Dagler, call me, dude. Can't get you on the phone, man. but biggest recommend. I made a lot of mistakes. If I could go back, I can't say I wouldn't change some stuff, and I definitely would do some things differently. But I think everything I did from the very beginning, I really did because I loved it. I love the customers. I love the music. And as long as you respect people and you treat people with love and you try to have a good business that gives back to the community, care about people more than money, everything else kind of falls into place. And it did for me. Again, there were things that I could have done better. I'd never owned a business before, really, not like a real one. I sold online, but that didn't really count. So really, that's been my motive in everything I've done. And that has usually the record karma comes around. You know what I mean? So anyways, great to see y'all. Everybody say hey to Michael Spurlock. He said, see you later. He is the kind of spokesman of Underground Fire, one of the records that we're putting out very soon. So Mike is a national treasure. I love when he comes in the shop and says hello. Anyways, thank you guys, and we're going to end it. But I'll try to do this again sometime soon.